Supergirl. Zip zap zop, it's Supergirl time, and oh my, people are not picking up what the DCU is putting down with this latest movie.
Look, I'm begging you. If you do this, I will lose everything.
I mean, what the hell happened, guys? I feel like everyone was hyped for the new DC Universe this time last year when Superman dropped. Now that Supergirl's out, I haven't heard a single positive thing about it. So why's that? Well, this movie makes a few weird choices. But first, Millie Alcock. I loved her in House of the Dragon, and I think she's a really talented, charismatic actress. I think James Gunn's version of the DCU has done a great job at making the characters actual human beings, flaws and all. Even if her flaws are, Kara is a person with a complicated history, not just a cardboard cutout heroic lady with a cape. She's not boring, she's a human, well, a person. And I commend the DC Universe for trying to do something different with her adaptation, because Supergirl from the comics is, you know. So I think the two biggest problems with this movie are two pretty fucking big elements to a movie, and that is the story and the main character arc. The story they've chosen for Supergirl's debut in the DCU is, well, it's a popular template for stories nowadays. And that's the grizzled old cynical man goes on a quest with a young kid type story. Only the grizzled old man is Supergirl. The story, as a byproduct of that essentially, is not really about Kara. It instead follows this incredibly by-the-numbers revenge quest of this kid-girl companion and how she has to learn how to forgive and how revenge is evil and blah 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 blah. It's really not that interesting. I mean, they get all the major beats of like a Last of Us or a Logan or even Kenobi, where the kid wants Kara to go on a quest, she says no, they don't get along at first, Kara agrees to go on the quest for her own selfish reasons, the entire time saying, "I'm not the hero you think I am, kid." They bond. There's a moment where the kid is on her own, trapped by the bad guys, requiring our hero to sack up, lock in, and become the hero they always truly were. And yeah, was this really the best template for like a Supergirl movie? One thing I really did like about the movie were actually the flashbacks to Kara's origin. Every now and then the movie would cut to a movie I kind of would prefer to be watching, following this one surviving city on Krypton, Kara's parents pleading for her to go to Earth, her landing on Earth, meeting Kal-El, adapting to human life. Like, that's a movie. It was really interesting. I didn't know too much detail about Supergirl's origin going in, so it was really cool to get a different perspective on the destruction of Krypton. I will say though, they do double down on the Kryptonians as conquerors thing from the previous movie. I guess I was kind of holding out hope that that would be some kind of lie or a trick or something, but I guess not. Side note, Corn Sweat is so great. Every scene with him in this movie just sells me more and more on his Superman. So I mentioned two things, and the other weird thing is Kara's arc in this movie. When the movie starts out, she's living recklessly, numbing herself with liquor and music and whatever other space substances she can get her hands on in order to cope with the pain of losing her planet and family. This is a really weird arc for a Supergirl movie. I mean, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Those little girls out there need to ease up on the liquor. I know what's going down at those tea parties. What an incredibly prudent and timely message to pass on to our youth.
You know what we should do? You know what we should do? We should just get on our bikes and just go. Just go and start a business.
Which, in a way, is all about learning responsibility, but the movie takes so long to get there that, unfortunately, Kara spends most of this movie as a cynical prick. And that works for, like, a Wolverine or, like, Joel, but Supergirl? She only gets to really do Supergirl things at the very end. Unfortunately, they do a surf Dracula, which, if you don't know what that means, basically it's this Twitter post that I love and I find incredibly applicable to a lot of modern franchise storytelling. The whole thought is, if there was a show called Surf Dracula back in the day, you'd get him surfing around like every episode. But nowadays, he wouldn't get the surfboard until the very end of the finale. It boils down to basically, shows nowadays don't give you the thing you want until the very end. And I think that's applicable here. I mean, sure, she does fly around, gives you the occasional eye laser, saves people, but it's always with this extra caveat. You know, she's always like drunk or poisoned or kryptonited in like almost every action scene in this movie, and I guess they have to nerf her somehow, but she just straight up forgets like most of her powers half the time. At least X-ray vision and super hearing would have come in handy like a few times here. By the time she puts on the costume at the end, I'm not really sure what she learned or how she learned it. It comes across more like she read the script and knows the big third act action scene is coming up, so gotta suit up for that. It also makes a choice at the very end of the movie that I'm not gonna spoil, but feels really antithetical and mean-spirited. Just kind of feels like it was going against the point this movie was trying to make. I didn't like it. But one spark of energy in this movie was Jason Mamoa as Lobo. And I've been hearing all about this character since Momoa's casting in the DCEU. You know, oh, he's perfect for the role, it's the role he was born to play, yada yada, yeah. And he's you know, he's fun. He's a little bit of personality injected into this movie, at least. Kind of makes you wish he was the main villain instead of these incredibly forgettable chuckle fucks, because oh my god, these villains are bad. Imagine if, like, Ronan from Guardians 1 was somehow even less interesting. I mean, at least he was blue. Being blue is something.
Are you blue?
Only in color, Michael.
And speaking of James Gunn, I really do think that the James Gunn isms are starting to weigh on me with this one. I know he didn't direct it, but as a creative overseer on this movie, the Gunn influence was very heavy-handed here. The music and reliance on needle drops, the focus on relationships with animals again, and using music to cope with the feelings of being an outcast, blasting alt-rock music at full volume on her overhead headphones and iPod. Someone take James Gunn's Spotify away. He's getting high on his own supply. It has reached a distracting magnitude. That, and we still lean heavy into crypto in order to sell this movie, which I feel like we just got so much of him with the promotion of the first Superman. You know, like they're trying to make crypto this universe's baby Groot or baby Yoda or another baby Peanut or something. Here we get baby crypto. And there are other things that are weird or just don't make sense. Like, for example, the villain wears the antidote that Kara's looking for around his neck in this little, like, ornament thing. Like, it's the most fucking important thing in the universe, but it's just a tool he uses for his job. Like, he doesn't give a shit what this thing is. It's only important to Kara. Why would he be wearing it like this friggin' medallion around his neck? Another thing that's weird is Lobo's introduction scene. It takes place right after this massive bar fight that, unless I'm missing something, looks like he was in the room for and just, I don't know, didn't participate in. I guess he was just sitting, hands folded in the corner, waiting for the big brawl to be over. That seems unlike him. Almost like he was added in as an afterthought. I actually really like the idea of Kara needing to find a home and adjusting to Earth, but that story starts like 2 minutes before the credits roll. But unfortunately, and maybe most importantly of all, this movie commits the cardinal sin, and that's being boring. There were a few instances where I was hoping the movie would just end. And the only thing worse than being bad is being uninteresting. Yeah, you could say a lot of effort went into the visuals, and this movie does have some genuinely really interesting, weird, and funny alien designs. You know, like some shit you'd see out of Rick and Morty, but by that same vein, it's like just CGI and effects nonsense all straight to the brain. Like, you can't even process what you're looking at half the time. It just comes across as like slop. So if you're interested in the overall pantheon of the DCU, you can honestly probably skip this one. If you want to see more Superman, or maybe interested in Lobo's whole deal, there's really not enough of them in this to justify the watch. It's a very weird series of creative choices leading to little girls across the globe to aspire to be just like Supergirl. Yeah, one day I want to be just like her, blacking out every night, sharing breakfast with my dog, killing people. Now that's somebody I want to aspire to be. I'm really sick of this trend of selling a movie, calling it Supergirl, and then I get 2 hours of a character, like, figuring out how to be Supergirl. Just give me the thing I came to fucking watch already. You know, it took Tom Holland 5 movies and 10 years to finally figure out how to become Spider-Man. More on that to come. Sure, Superman in his own movie was a bit inexperienced, and he got his ass kicked around a bit, but at least he had the fucking cape on for most of the movie. I know this movie was based on the comic book Woman of Tomorrow. I feel like the marketing's at least done a decent job of keeping people aware of that. If you're interested in seeing the movie, I'd say just read that book. I'm sure it's much more fun, creative, and interesting than this. If you've got little kids, I'm not even really sure this is for them either. Like, maybe go take your little drunks to the park instead. Tell them to ease up on the whiskey at the tea parties. But that's just what I think. What do you think about Supergirl? Do you hate that there's a woman leading a big franchise movie? How dare they? First they want to vote, and now this? How are we feeling about the new DC universe as a whole so far? I mean, what is it? It's that Suicide Squad remake, Superman, Peacemaker, I guess Creature Commandos if you want to count that, and now this? I don't know, seems a little rocky to me. Are you excited for Man of Tomorrow, whatever that movie even ends up being? Anyways, be on the lookout for the next big retrospective coming soon. I'm working on that right now. Check out my other stuff, and I'll see you next time.